Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are back with the NPL. We are in the playoffs now, and it's the divisional round of the playoffs. We are, I think, the um, third seed or the second seed. I don't know. And we are taking on Adam, aka the Bee's Knees, and his Houston Solrockets. I actually wanted to upload my ITL week 9 today, but because Showdown basically removed all replays like from Gen 6 and the last few months of Gen 7. Obviously, I don't have access to the game anymore, so can't upload that. But I got the win. I'm back on the winning side of things, and I'm at 8-1 now in the ITL. I need one more win to clinch the playoffs, I think, or to clinch my division, which is hype. So yeah, definitely good. I bounced back after a stupid loss in week 8, but now we are here with the playoffs of the NPL, and yeah, it's not the best matchup for me, but not the worst either. I think I built a very good team to like take on Adam here. I bring a fat, mostly physically defensive Manaphy with Scarlet, Rain Dance, Toxic, and Rest. Looking at his team, like he can't really break through it, besides obviously with the Rotom. Um, Golbat, if I knock off his Eviolite, can't take two Scalds in the Rain after Rocks, which is hype. Cobalion can't break me unless he gets to +4, +6 without getting burned. Rotom can't even OHKO me unless it's Specs or Life Orb, I think. Melodic just loses to me because I stall it out like as long as I want to. Zygarde needs to be at +3 to +2 to KO me. That's it. I think +1 outrage can to KO me, but that's it. And if he locks himself into outrage, Togekiss can just easily revenge it, which is nice. And Houndoom can't to KO me either. So Manaphy a big threat versus my opponent's team, but not really like the most important one. To be honest, like it's just a nice defensive check to have to some threats. Charizard here is a Roost SD set with Flare Blitz and Dragon Claw. 2-hit KOs my opponent's entire team. At +2, even gets like OHKOs on 1, 2, 3, 4 mons at +2, which is hype. Melodic, I really expected Flame of Melodic to come because that can actually shoot 2+2 Dragon Claws. But after Rocks, I have a chance to knock it out, especially to 2-hit KO if he switches in on a +2 Dragon Claw, especially if he's Flamer and gets the Rocks and burn damage. Then I just can't 2-hit KO, he can't really do too much back. Reuniclus is especially defensive variant. It was basically my switch into Victory Bell in case he brought the Sun element that he has on his team. Especially defensive, also kind of can take a hit off Houndoom. Checks Melodic fairly well. Checks some random Nasty Block Golbat. Can take 2 hits from Scarf Rotom unless he's modest. Even like Shadow Balls that do up to like 53%, which is not a 2 KO because of leftovers. I have Psychic HPIs for the Zygarde, obviously. Can't let this thing set up in my face. Recover and Toxic, very solid set. It also checks on +2 Cobalion fairly well, as Iron Head doesn't do too much, just like 60 to 70%, and that is if it's Adamant or has a boosting item. Superior here is a very fat set. It's enough speed to outspeed Jolly Zygarde, obviously. Or Adamant Zygarde, it is. Jolly like doesn't really make sense versus my team. Yeah, it's enough speed to outspeed Adamant Zygarde. Max HP, a lot of defense, and a lot of special attack with Synthesis, Knockoff, Leaf Storm, and HPIs. Fairly self-explanatory. Houndoom can't really switch into a Leaf Storm as it does like up to 35%, I think. Even unboosted, obviously. Knockoff is nice to catch the Golbat on the switch in, and then like HPIs is a 2-hit KO after Rocks or Leaf Storm into +2 HPIs and OHKO, which is nice. So if I get rid of the Violet, it would be huge. Togekiss here is a Scarf variant, Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Trick, and what's the last one? Defog. Yeah, Defog just in case I need to remove Rocks. But I'm looking at my opponent's team, the only thing he can set up Rocks is the Cobalion. And if that doesn't pack the Rocks, it's probably like Dual Dance or Sword Sense 3 attacks, which is nice, or like just some Taunt Pivot set, but looks like I won't need the Togekiss Defog at all. I can just spam Air Slash pretty freely, as my opponent has one flying resist, and that's the Rotom, which can't really switch in too well. It takes like 25-ish or 30-ish from air slash, so it can switch in once or twice, but not much, not more often, which is cool. And last one I brought is Archeops. I didn't really want to bring it at first. I kind of wanted to bring like maybe a Greninja, like a Scarf Greninja or something like that can check some threats like +1 Zygarde better. But Gypsy, my boy, he convinced me to bring the Archeops because Taunt Rocks from Stone Edge and Flying Z Fly really fucks my opponent up. If I can get it in safely, I can get up Rocks versus removal, which is the Golbat, and also the other removal that he has was the Torkoal, so Arceus basically kept up Rocks versus those two 100% of the time. If I can pressure him with Rocks, that's nice, and obviously the Flynium Z does like up to 60% to everything he brings, which is pretty crazy, and knocks out Houndoom obviously does 60 or 70% to Milotic unless it's Flame Orb. The Stone Edge easily 2-hit KOs Golbat even if it's physically defensive. Flynium Z drops Cobalion if it's uninvested, I think. Does over 60 to the Rotom, so that's not really a resist. And puts like Zygarde in range for every attack on my team, for every HP Ice that I have. So looking at my opponent's team, I think the safest lead for me is the Charizard. It beats his potential Rocker, it beats a Scarf Rotom that wants to lead off versus me. It can like just fire off a Dragon Claw for some chip on Milotic, can hit the Houndoom for some big damage, knowing that he can't knock me out, and obviously kinda prevents Zygarde from setting up, which is good. But yeah, I lead off with the with Charizard. My opponent leads off with the Rotom. That's fine. I would just go for the Rooster to scout if he Scarf or if he specs, like Scout for damage is nice. He reveals to be Modest and Modest Scarf because I'm faster than Max with Rotom on my Zard, and I can just like roost up versus Milotic. I don't want to get toxic here, so I go into my Reuniclus. As he reveals the Flame Orb, which is solid, but won't like really help him too much. Go into my Reuniclus, take 20 from the Scarf. Looks like I'd invested Milotic, obviously. I will just fire off a Psychic. I really want to go for the Toxic, but like I won't make the hard read that he goes into Houndoom on this turn. Like it doesn't make sense. I lose way too much from Toxicking here. Even if he goes into Houndoom on my Psychic, I have like fairly safe switches like Manaphy, even Charizard, potentially Togekiss. I don't think he would predict Togekiss to come in and go for a Sludge Bomb on like turn 3 or so. So we'll just go for the Psychic, maybe kind of fish for a Spadafore. He misses a Dragon Tail, which is unfortunate, but I'm not Carmine, so it doesn't matter too much. But now he's kind of forced to recover up. I will go for another Psychic just to keep him kind of low, so that my Zard can potentially take it on. Milotic here is at like 70% now after the next turn of Burn Damage. I will pull the switch now into my Togekiss. It covers him going into Houndoom because he can just flinch it and he can't OHKO me. And it also like covers him staying in because then I can like just fire off 2 Air Slashes to potentially flinch down and kill the Milotic. So that's cool. He goes actually into Houndoom, which works out for me. I switch it to Togekiss. I kinda contemplated like going into Manaphy and not showing off that I'm not revealing that I'm Scarf, but I figured if it's a nasty plot variant, he can just like do way too much damage to my Manaphy on the next turn if he decides to stay in. Scald is not an OHKO, so yeah, I kind of feel like forced to Air Slash, and like the 60% chance is nice. He can't OHKO me with Sludge Bomb, does up to like 65 max or so. So I have a very free Air Slash, and if he goes into Golbat or Rotom on the Air Slash, I get chip on those mons, and that is fine. I get to flinch, which is nice. Allows me to go for another Air Slash, like just chipping down the squad. Goes into Golbat. I think I go for one more Air Slash, predicting him to either switch out or go for Roost or Super Fang. I don't really need help on my Togekiss, even though like +1 Zygarde could be a threat. I can take a +1000 arrows from 75% after rocks, which is nice. But I feel like I don't lose much by Air Slashing. I figure out like what he wants to do with his Golbat, and if he switches out, I get some damage off as he goes into Rotom. Actually, I go back into my Zard as my opponent fires off a Discharge. Thankfully, doesn't knock me, doesn't paralyze me, as I am free to SD up here. He goes into Milotic. Dragon Claw won't kill this Milotic, I know that, but I know this Milotic only has the Dragon Tail, which does like 10% max if it's burned, obviously, which it is, and like Scald or Ice we won't do too much. So with the burn damage and my Dragon Claw, I put it in range for basically every single attack. You see, I do 54%. Dragon Tails me out does 8% damage, which is no problem at all. And now Manaphy is in. I can go for a Scald and guarantee knock it out because that's not especially defensive melodic. So Manaphy gets the first kill for me, and things are looking clean. Like I'm in a very solid spot at the moment. I can like play the game very safe because like I got some chip on a bunch of stuff and Zygarde, and whenever Charizard comes in for free on a road, potentially I basically get a kill because it gets a +2 and potentially can even sweep him unless like he's an offensive Cobalion. So look at this situation, like there's no chance he can stay in a discharge, because if he discharged, my Manaphy takes it and fires off a Scald, and he kills my Zard potentially, and not my Zard, my Manaphy, and then Zard comes in. I get to +2, and I basically sweep the game. He basically has to sack him on, preferably the Rotom potentially. Then he has to go into Houndoom or Cobalion to get a hit off, putting me at like 40%. If he outspeeds me even with the Cobalion, I don't know. Then I kill this thing, and then he's forced to go Houndoom. If I'm at range for Dark Woods, he can kill me, but then I have a very free switch in to my Togekiss potentially. Like he loses the game if he doesn't Volt Switch here, so I'm very free to go into my Superior. So like Zard looking looking like a big threat at the moment. Volt Switch does 16%. That's fine with me. I get lefties back. My opponent sends out Golbat. I'm out of range for a crit Brave Bird if he's uninvested, which is nice. It does like 87% or 88% max, which is cool. So I'm very free to knock off. And like Brave Bird, yes, it would do like 60% or so if it just goes for it. But I think the knockoff is like would be really helpful for a potential Scarf Togekiss sweep, as like Astash just would do way more unless if the Violet is gone. So we'll go for the knockoff here. Getting rid of the Violet, which is nice, and he fires off Breath, and he actually gets a crit, dropping me down to 1.8% or so. It's really wild, but yeah, I just go for the Synthesis, knowing that he basically has to roost up as well in order to not lose his Golbat. So my go with Yubari here is a solid amount, and I can just go into my Reuniclus on this Golbat here. He fires off another Brave Bird, does some solid damage, but not too much. And I will go for a Toxic now, reading the Houndoom to come in, which is fine with me. So get the Toxic off. Now, like, my opponent makes a very interesting play. I'm really contemplated just going for Recover here, because Houndoom actually can't OHKO Reuniclus from the range I'm at. If he Dark Bolts, yes, it puts me at like 50%, but I can basically recover stall him with the leftovers unless he flinches me. I can recover stall him unless he goes down. And if he over predicts and goes for a Sludge Bomb versus my Reuniclus, I'm in a very good spot, because then basically if he goes for a Sludge Bomb and I recover up, then he kinda is forced to either switch out or go for a Dark Bolts on next one, which would give my Togekiss a free switch and a free kill with Air Slash potentially if I flinch down the Golbat or the Rotom, which revealed to be Modest Scarf, so I actually outspeeded with my Togekiss, which is hype. But I decide to make the safest play possible and go into my Togekiss, because Togekiss health was only important if I don't have my checks for Manaphy anymore, but I still have the Scarf on Togekiss. Obviously, I still have Manaphy, which can take the Zygarde on. Take on the Zygarde. I have my Superior, which takes a +1000 arrows easily. So I feel like I can risk the Togekiss, even if it goes for a Sludge Bomb, I don't lose much. And my opponent actually makes the play and goes for a Sludge Bomb. So had I recovered up there, I would have been like in a fantastic spot. But I'm still in a decent position. I can just fire off an Air Slash here. Hit the incoming Golbat. Oh no, I actually missed, which is huge. Really annoying, but I can do 36. So as you see, would have gotten a 2-hit KO potentially depending on rolls, had I not missed the Air Slash. But yeah, he goes for a Brave Bird now. I don't get to flinch, and I actually totally forgot that this thing has the inner focus ability. I totally forgot about that. I go for the flinch and I get the crit, so that's kind of lucky. But my Togekiss is almost dead. Still can do quite some damage, but yeah, I'm like gonna play it carefully now. I can't allow him to get up rocks if I switch out. Yeah, like gotta make sure that I keep this thing alive so that I always can revenge the Houndoom with the Dazzling Beam, as well as like potentially flinching down the Cobalion. So Rotom comes again. I'm very free to go into my Charizard here. Maybe I should have gone into Superior, looking back at it, but it was like basically everything checked this thing. And now my opponent goes into Zygarde, and I'm thinking, what does he want to do? You see, like Harban Berry, which really would make sense versus my team because Charizard always outspeeds, and like if I'm a Dragon Dance variant, he needs some form of check, and if he's like Adamant, Harban Berry, thousand arrows, Zygarde, it really makes sense that he like brings it in now and have like a backup check, putting in a range for 1000 arrows plus E-speed if I'm a DD variant. So I figured like Harban Berry was definitely a possibility here, but I still have like Superior and Manaphy as a check, so I just go into my Superior here, knowing that I can take any 2 hits, unless he's like, or any hit unless he's like Outrage, obviously. He goes for Dragon Dance, and I look at the look at the calcs, and if the only chance he can kill me is with the Outrage, and if he goes for the Outrage, I can like just go into Togekiss and revenge it, which is nice, because like okay, I probably wouldn't be able to revenge it, but I would do like 80-ish%, 85% with the Dazzling Gleam, which would put it in range for a Scald from Manaphy, so I could like just go for Dazzling Gleam, go into Manaphy, fire off a Scald, and then go from there. I looked at my notes, and for whatever reason I thought my opponent's Z-move Z-Captain, Z-move user, whatever, was Tapu Bulu. I wrote it down and I prepped with a Z Tapu Bulu in mind, which is kind of stupid on my part. I don't know if I like read the sheet wrong or if the sheet was changed, I don't know. But I probably just read it wrong, and I was pretty sure this isn't Z Zygarde, but I actually revealed the Devastating Dragon. I was like, fuck, that's annoying. Like this makes the Zygarde pretty scary. I really contemplated going back into the Togekiss, which would have been a dawn play, but couldn't pull the trigger there. I just like thought I'd just let him go for the Outrage and go from there, but yeah. Now I can go into my Manaphy, obviously. I will just fire off a Scald, Toxic doesn't put it in range for the Dazzling Gleam. Goes for the Outrage, which I want to. I don't get to burn, unfortunately, which would have, like, if he got burned, would have allowed like some stuff like Remitless to take it on, potentially stall it out or fire off an HPIs, because then like +1 Outrage wouldn't be a 2-hit KO. Like would have made things much easier, but goes for the Outrage, crits and kills my Manaphy, doesn't matter too much, don't really need it too badly, and because he's locked into Outrage, getting a 3-turn Outrage there, he goes down to the Dazzling Gleam. And now Cobalion comes in, and this is where it all goes downhill, because you know my luck in the NPL. And okay, this Cobalion comes in. It can either go for a setup move, preferably Rock Polish, because then he outspeeds my Scarf Togekiss and can do some damage. Can go for the SD, risking the 2-hit KO, which is actually a roll on the Cobalion. I don't think it was EV to lift 2 Dazzling Gleams from Togekiss, but you never know. And he also could set up rocks, which also would make sense, because it pressures the Archeops, the Zard, and my Togekiss in case I switch out into my Remitless, which would be a very safe play, obviously. My play here is to go for the Dazzling Gleam, because if he Rock Polishes up or sets up rocks, I get 50% off, or close to 50%, which would put it in range for a Psychic of Remitless, which guaranteed knocks it out. At like 53%, I think Psychic does up to 60% from the Remitless, because Remitless is broken. And then if Remitless kills this Cobalion, my Charizard just wins versus Houndoom and Rotom. If he goes for rocks, I can potentially 2-hit KO it and just sweep from here. And even then, I can like just if he gets the rocks, I get 2 Dazzling Gleams off. Even if he lifts them, my Remitless comes in, can kill it with the Psychic, and then like recover stall potentially Houndoom as well as the Rotom, and then like if Rotom comes in, Charizard basically wins. If Houndoom comes in, I can potentially recover stall, chew 1 hit guaranteed with Archeops even after Stealth Rock damage, and go from there, because Charizard always beats Rotom. So I go for the Dazzling Gleam. It's my safest play. It covers him going for SD Rock Polish as well as the Stealth Rock. So I go for the Dazzling Gleam, get a very low roll here. I think he was invested probably, but not too much. And now this Cobalion will soon reveal to be Life Orb, and this is where my opponent, I think, makes a very, like, I wouldn't say a terrible play or bad play, but it definitely was super ballsy, and like could have lost him the game and had I switched in. In hindsight, I probably could have switched it, but now I know he will go for the he has to go for an attack or the SD. Like if he goes for an SD, I would consider this a choke because SD actually would allow me to kill it or put it in range of one life up hit. He probably thinks that my target is the win condition. Is my win condition, and I'm forced to switch out. But that's really not the case because Charizard just wins if I get off another Dazzling Gleam and put him in range for life up. So if I go for Dazzling Gleam here, he goes down to one life up hit, and on which I would have just like sacked my Archeops here, and then Solrockets would have just won with two Dazzling Gleams. If he Iron Heads, my Solrockets goes down, and I like have to not be flinched with Reuniclus, which is annoying, or like have to live with hit with Zard, which I can. But Reuniclus I know can chew even a +2 Iron Head and knock out the Cobalion and basically win the game from, and then basically Togekiss and Zard win the game from there. So make the safest play possible, which covers the Iron Head as well as the Sword Stance. Go into my Reuniclus and will just fire off a Psychic on the next turn. He's forced to attack me. He goes for the Iron Head and my Reuniclus flinches. He reveals to be life orb, so had a Dazzling Gleam tail, he would have just been dead on the next hit. And now he wins the game to a stupid shit show because nothing can take hits from Cobalion. Try to life up stall him so Togekiss can win, but as you see, doesn't work out, and he will win 2-0. So another shit show in the playoffs that will end my season there. I felt like I played a close to flawless game. I brought a terrific team that basically like wins this matchup most of the time. I would say like at least 9 out of 10 times to win this matchup, or maybe like 85 out of 100 times. I don't know. I don't really care. But obviously hindsight is always 2020. You could say you definitely should have stayed in D-Gleamed with the Togekiss, but at this point I didn't know that Cobalion was life orb and would have like would have gone down had I D-Gleamed. And also, even if he like if I stayed in, went for Dazzling Gleam, and he like went for the Iron Head, my Togekiss went down, and then my Reuniclus still can potentially get flinched down, and then I'm in the same spot because then I have to live on the roll with Charizard, yada yada yada. So definitely like I figured I made the safest plays possible, and I lost to a stupid flinch, which is really unfortunate. I figured I was in control the entire game. I figured I was in control the entire season in every game I played, besides maybe week 12 where I just clicked buttons and got 6 out, which is fine. But besides that, I felt like I really played a perfect season in my opinion, even though my record didn't really show it because I was 7-5 or so. But all my losses came, besides week 12 obviously, kinda came because of hacks against me. Like one time my Manaphy that literally 6-0'd my opponent's squad, I think it was in week 4, week 4 or 5. Like it just got crit by an Excadrill, which put it in Sandstorm range and knocked me out, which was pretty stupid. That lost me the game. One time my Karma and Reuniclus where was crit when the only counter to it was basically Heatran, which isn't a counter because Heatran can't counter Karma and Reuniclus. So like I got pretty unlucky all season, and it gets to me again in the playoffs, which is really annoying. I figured I had a very solid chance of winning the entire season. I felt like my matchups inside my conference were terrific. Had I advanced to the semifinals, and I think in the finals was the potential final opponent. I figured I would have like the matchup was in my favor for sure, and obviously you can't say I definitely would have won the game because as you see, hacks is always a thing when it comes to mons. But like yeah, I felt like my matchups were so great that that my opponents really had to outprep me and outplay me on every turn basically to have a chance to beat me. And obviously I forgot about the luck factor and mounts, and that was what came back to me in this playoff game. GJ to my boy Adam. He obviously like had to play with the back to the wall here with the dual dance Cobalion. Probably was his biggest play, like playing on me, switching out and then going for the flinch. Worked out for him, but it's just a shame that like such aggressive and ballsy plays get rewarded by hacks. Obviously, when I literally like had him outplayed and wasn't controlled for the entire game. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? There's always next season, which I think will start like I reckon in January or so. After Ultra Sun and Moon comes out, definitely up for that. I will be back for that. Obviously, I will finally try to make it to finals in the NPL again. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support during the entire season. I had a lot of guys that like checked out my vids on a regular basis, um, and like always supported me even when I caught those bullshit hexy losses. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my last NPL video of the year. And yeah, leave a like and a comment if you did, and see you in the next video.